Star Citizen, a game I really love, and the community along with it. But amongst this community, I see very few people discussing the topic I feel is most important today when discussing the future of Star Citizen. Heavy hitters like Salty Mike, Active in the Verse, Space Tomato Gaming, and Board Gamer have all made videos about the release of 1.0 and the incoming arrival of base building, a feature meant to revolutionize the game. But I've never seen any of them discuss this topic in the way I'm about to. In 2024, I was sitting in my car coming back from a vacation, and it was the exact day that CitizenCon 2954 was happening. So I went onto YouTube and listened to it in the car. They talked a lot about big changes coming, but they mostly talked about industrialization updates and the upcoming base building. But when they discussed base building, there was a few questions I never saw any big YouTubers really discussing. To explain what I mean, I think we should start with the main idea. During CitizenCon 2954, the developers talked a lot about adding base building and how, oh, it's the next big thing, it's really sweet, you can build a base and it'll stay there forever. And things like, you can use all these big awesome ships we built for this specific task for making a base as an endgame progression. And more and more and more of this stuff to accommodate base building. And it all seemed extremely cool. But then they mentioned resource gathering. And they talked about how you can land on a planet as an explorer and you can look for resources and then report resource veins back to HQ so you can set up a base in that area and extract the resources. And I thought that was all cool. But there's just one thing I have to ask about all of this that I don't see many others talk about, and that's pollution. As weird as it sounds, this is actually a concern of mine. With 1.0, they plan to completely erase the wipe system, which I have no problem with, don't get me wrong. But with no wipes and permanent bases, what's to stop the player from base building and continuing expansion indefinitely, and simply covering every planet's surface with bases? I understand they have upkeep to worry about, which I pray is not like Dune, because if it is, you know how long that will last, and as well as having to pay a full org to be there, and it's all this end game stuff, so it would be very hard to get to. But if the developers talk about how you can actually remove resources from the ground and those resources would run out, after time the sheer number of players would whittle down every planet's resources, making it damn near impossible to have any fun on the surface of a planet if the majority of it is just bases and crumbled environment due to overmining and overconsumption. This game is the most ambitious game I've ever seen. It's got 6 million players and it's not even out yet. So when it comes out and millions more come rushing in, what really will happen when players just keep expanding? My preposterous hypothesis is that eventually planets will lose the majority of their resources and their appeal. What's the point of going to Hurston if the entire planet is covered up by bases, as well as every single other planet in the entire system, and others? The planets in this game are huge, but with no wipes and nothing to stop further expansion, won't planets just eventually fill up and look like the beginning of Wall-E, with player-built space stations and bases covering every inch of land there is, eventually overcrowding every server? If we are to expect true persistence from this game, that would mean planets losing their life force because of civilization rushing to conquer every inch of space there is. And I understand just how ambitious everything in this game is. But could that lead to the player built bases overshadowing the glory of planets themselves? In short, true persistent bases sound incredible, but if they're really going to be that many players and no wipes and persistence to let objects forever stay on planets, as well as resource pools drying up over time, is there anything that can prevent complete and utter annihilation of most planets? If anyone has an answer for this in the comments or can explain what they think is going to happen once the whole thing kicks off, please do. I'm open to feedback. But from what I can tell, this system seems like it would encourage players to keep fueling expansion again and again and again until there's no space left for fun, intuitive gameplay on planet's surface. Let me know what you think about that, though. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. Goodbye.